We'll move on to the next one. We did that one for a while, but
By the way, yeah,
all night on this one.
so to show you how good this card is, that we're an hour in and we've only talked about
We're
3
not
fights.
even.
This card
Oh
is
yeah.
amazing. You know what I mean?
We're not even to the meat and potatoes yet.
No,
We still
not
got the
even
main
close.
course coming.
but now we got the co-main event, which is the women's featherweight title fight between Amanda Nunes, who is the minus 1100 favorite, versus Megan Anderson, which is the
crazy.
plus 700 underdog.
Good luck.
You first, Lou.
This is as close to in WWE terms for Megan Anderson. This is as close to a jobber as you're gonna get in the UFC. What is there to say about Amanda Nunes? She is without question the greatest woman that has ever fought. She's actually on an 11-win fight streak. She's beat everybody: Shevchenko, Ronda Rousey, Miesha Tate. Look at that comment. That's hilarious. She beat everybody. She's beat everybody. She's beat them all. The Cyborg, and it's interesting because she's looked rather pedestrian in her last 2 against Spencer and Durandamy, but pedestrian for her is just not knocking you or choking you out. They've gone to decision. So I said this the last time that she fought. When is Amanda Nunes going to come back down to earth a little bit? But I don't see it whatsoever. She's gonna retire the champion. Because there's really who else is there for her to even fight that's notable. Her last loss was to Kat Zingano, and she's not coming back to the UFC anytime soon to get that loss avenged. So I mean, this woman's a beast. Minus 1100, it might as well be minus 2000, to be honest. The odds, but Megan Anderson, their common opponents are Holly Holm and Felicia Spencer, who again, Amanda Nunes just outright dismissed. So this is, this has got to be some sort of mandatory challenge, something you have to defend the title just to keep it, because she wants to remain the champ. But at either division, there's nobody else for Nunes. This is, I hope she doesn't look past her, because again, we keep harping on this. This is MMA, and at any time, one right hook can end it all. But unfortunately for Megan Anderson, I really don't see it. She's 3-2 in her last 5. Pass on Megan Anderson. What else can I say?
What about you, Miles?
Yeah, this matchup has me scratching my head like, what? I'm not quite sure who thought this matchup was a good idea, but damn, poor Megan Anderson. Jesus. So Amanda Nunes, not only does she have the experience, she's got an excellent background. She's got like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, judo brown belt, all the boxing stuff she's learned. Like, she's just a very well-rounded, very highly skilled fighter. She's not only got a great background, she's got an excellent amount of experience. Like, how many fights has this lady had over the course of her career? How many really tough opponents has she had? Who some of them she just dismantled outright, and then some of them she had to strategize a little more, and those went to the decision and stuff. But she still won. Like, there's a reason she's holding 2 titles right now. You know what I mean? And the way her thought process works in her training really shows, and I think that's a big part of why she wins. Like when she was taking the Cyborg fight, I remember reading a thing where she wanted to sort of like delay that from happening. She didn't want to rush into it because she wanted to gain muscle instead of fat in order to move up to the featherweight division to do that fight, or wherever it landed. I just read the article, but she did a lot of like powerlifting, weightlifting to get stronger as she got heavier, not just get heavier for the sake of getting heavier to make the fight happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
So she's got that mentality, that philosophy down. And I mean, what does Megan Anderson really bring to the table? I mean, she was an interim Victa featherweight champion before she entered the UFC. So, I mean, okay. But then here's the thing. She's got crazy range because she's like 6 feet tall.
Right.
Most women in that division are like 5'7" on average, 5'6". So she's like a giant in the division, and she has a ton of range, and she does have a ton of striking power. I think part of that is part of her build. The other part is, of course, her Muay Thai background, where they teach you all about power. So, I mean, she's a good power striker, but here's the thing. When you look at how she fights, she relies on that range quite a bit in order to keep her opponents away from her and land those big power shots. She's got decent wrestling ability and takedown defense. But her ground game is nowhere near what it's going to be. It's not nearly good enough to deal with Amanda Nunes. Even her wrestling ability, I don't think is good enough to deal with Amanda Nunes in a lot of categories. So then when you watch how she fights other fighters in the past, when she's fought, people who are still fairly green, still fairly new to the division, she would, use that range to knock them out pretty quick. But then the question is, well, what happens when you find someone who can get past that range? Does she, can she still hang? And then you saw Holly Holmes, outside of that range, she was getting hit. So she made some adjustments, got inside that range, put her on the ground. And as soon as Megan Anderson didn't have that range advantage, she couldn't place those power shots anymore. Then she pretty much, Holly Holmes just took her apart after that. Same thing happened with the Spencer fight. She was getting hit at the punching range, and then she, problem solved, got in close, ended up choking her out because it's a range thing. I think that once Amanda Nunes finds that range and she starts learning how to slip in and out of it, that's pretty much all she wrote. Because then that's the one thing Megan Anderson has coming into this fight. And the minute you take it away, it's like, wow, I guess that goes everything, So as far as I see it, this is kind of a clean sweep. It can be a knockout, submission, decision, whatever it is. It's going to be a Nunes victory.
I want to go with Megan Anderson so bad, but I can't. I just can't. even if I give any inkling of anything, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. But
that's two sandwiches if you pick Anderson, bud. Just saying.
Oh yeah, two. But Jay has a point. This is the one plus that Anderson has is her coach is James Krause, who I interviewed Derek Minner last week, and that's his coach because they Minner, Anderson, and Anthony Smith all train at the same gym, Glory MMA, and he's probably one of the most underrated coaches in the UFC because he coaches to your strengths, and like he's very detailed. He tells you what you want to do, and he's going to be in her corner. He's going to try and maximize everything that she could do, and it's going to be, of course, based on her length because I don't know how she got into that division with how tall she is. We got a Nunes who's like 5'6", but then you got Anderson who's 6 foot. So she's obviously going to use that. I think she's going to get blown away anyway, but she does have that chance where she can, because Nunes is going to be punching up where she's going to be punching down, which is a little bit easier to me, where she might have that one chance to get that one miracle knockout, but I'm not going to go into anything. I still think she's going to get knocked out by Nunes because Nunes is just superior in everything else. And she's fought a who's who. You look at Shevchenko and how dominant she's been, and Nunes beat her twice. So,
right.
Yeah.
As much as I find myself a sucker for underdogs sometimes, I pick them way too much. As much as I want to pick the underdog, I'm not going to because I'm not that stupid. I know, like, I feel like Anderson's just going to bring the basic kind of just like jab her way around. And then I honestly think she's going to get punched in the face for about 15 minutes. I feel bad. I feel bad for her because I don't want to fight Amanda Nunes either. No one does.
Not at all.
She's got like it's almost like a Khabib kind of fighter. Like they won so much, they've accomplished so much that you can't discredit them in any facet of their game. She's just going to put a pace on you, and she's going to hit you very hard. And I feel like it's as simple as that. Honestly, I feel like there's so much more you can think into it, like technology. I don't even know how to say it. Like with her technical striking and all that. But I just feel like as simple as that, she's going to walk her down and just punch her in the face until the fight's over, and probably round 3, I'm going to say. We're going to go with that. We're going to keep it simple.
That's about right, man. That's about right. Amanda Nunes is just so just piggybacking on what we talked about earlier. She's just so good at everything else that Megan Anderson just has no chance unless barring one of those Anderson Silva front kicks. It's not going to happen for her, and God bless her. She took the fight, so much respect. Like you said, not many people would take that fight.
I would.
And she took it. She took it knowing that she's at a I mean, as a fighter, I can't imagine you go into it saying, yeah, I suck, but I'm going to take this fight anyway. So she's thinking that she has the height and she's going to use the length. That's what she's got to be thinking. You know, and there's merit to that. There is merit to that. You keep her at bay and you could land something. But just Nunes is just she's so dominant, and she has not lost the eye of the tiger. You know, it's apparent. You know, like Connor has lost it. That's why he's where he's at right now. He just doesn't really want to fight right now. He's more worried about being on his yacht with his family, which is, listen, he worked hard and he earned it.
Good for him.
You know, he earned it. He earned everything that he has. He worked his way from the bottom, and you know, we discussed a little bit, me and Bobby on the last show, that's why I'm such a big fan of his, because he did it the right way. But anyway, Nunes, she's just so dominant. There's no reason to discuss it further, guys. I think, you know, yeah.
See, what Megan Anderson needs to do, she needs to go find Steven Seagal so he can teach her the Anderson Silva front kick, and maybe she's got a chance.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome if he came out with her in the corner. Oh, that would be sick.
Just be like, okay, here's what you need to do. When she comes in for a punch like this, you need to grab her wrist and then flip her on her back. Oh, you mean she's not going to fall for you? Oh, shit, there goes my whole strategy. Just try to survive.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I'm still trying to compute how Megan Anderson hasn't fought since last February. So it's 13 months she hasn't fought. Yet she earned a title fight by not fighting in a year.
It doesn't make sense.
It's so bad that Nunes has cleared out 2 divisions that when you look on the rankings, the featherweight and bantamweight are one ranking system now. They don't put 2 different ones. Yeah. You look at I think bantamweight.
You can't even find Megan Anderson in the rankings.
No,
there's no featherweight rankings. So I was like, where is she even landing all this?
Like the bantamweight is empty. The rankings are empty, and then they have all the fighters in the featherweight. So it's like, I guess they're just like, it doesn't matter who she faces, she's gonna win. So we're just gonna put them in featherweight, you know.
Like, she is the division. There you go.
That's it.
That's all you need.
Then we got Jay commenting, it's LOL Steven Seagal. And then ask Anderson Silva how that worked.
I remember hearing the what was it, the Joe Rogan segment when he was talking to Anderson Silva. He's like, "Oh, Anderson Silva's such a nice guy." He'd be like, "Oh yeah, he's very nice. He taught me a lot of things. Very good guy." But in reality, Steven Seagal probably showed up and like showed him some bullshit. Anderson Silva's like, "Oh, I love your movies." You know, like that's probably how that went.
That sounds about right. It's got to be how it worked out.
Jay has a good point. He says, I need Shevchenko 3. So Shevchenko Nunes.
That'd be interesting.
3.
That would be interesting. Mm-hmm.
I don't. Nunes has already beat her twice, but like it's like she had the best chance right now to beat her.
Right. Shevchenko gave her a good fight too.
Also,
it's not like
she's been
she got routed
then as well.
The first fight was close. I believe it was. Was it the first fight that was close, and the second one wasn't? I know one was close.
I don't remember. I'm not sure.
The second one went to decision.
Right. I believe one of them was a split decision. I'm not sure.
Actually, weren't they both? Hold on. I think they
were
both.
They were both decisions. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, one of them was split. You're right, and then the other one was unanimous. I think 2 was unanimous.
He said one fight was questionable.
Yeah.
Probably the split decision.
Mm-hmm.